Guys, season 2 is starting, and it is really kicking off hot. I love this stuff. Sudhu and Kyle Davies are back at it with a new pitch deck offering anyone to invest in this $25 million crypto exchange they're trying to reboot for creditors of Voyager, Celsius, but oddly enough, not 3AC. According to a pitch deck that is now floating around crypto Twitter, the two are working with the CoinFLEX team in order to launch a new crypto exchange, mainly for creditors who want to deposit their holdings of different offerings to Celsius or Voyager or any other failed exchange from the last cycle. And then you can turn those on there, redeem them for a new token that they're going to issue, and trade them against each other. What's not to like in this whole situation? Wendy, I want to throw this one over to you. I did not pick this. I did not think this was going to happen this morning. That's for sure. But I am loving the energy we're getting on crypto Twitter.
Okay. I had a really long weekend. I didn't sleep last night. I've been up since 1 a.m. Reading this literally just hurt my face because I'm like, these guys literally grifted and scammed billions and billions and gazillions of dollars. And now they literally want to start a brand new business and do it again. And they're asking for $25 million. Like, who in their right mind thinks that it is okay? These guys have literally gaslit the entire crypto industry. And I put a tweet out about this. If you guys decide to use this exchange, if it does in fact become, to fruition, you're not going to make it. You will literally not make it. I'm sorry. Zach.
Hey man, it is boom times for crypto bankruptcy. So it would make sense that they want to give this tokenized bankruptcy claim thing a go, right? So bankruptcies, they exist, they're complicated. They exist in sort of the traditional world. There's marketplaces already where you can buy various claims, right? You can go buy FTX claims for something like 15 cents on the dollar. You can buy Voyager claims, Celsius claims. There's a whole complex mathematics in terms of how people make money from buying these claims. We've seen it dating all the way back to Mt. Gox, which, by the way, might see some closure later this year toward the fall, which is great news. But the fact that they're trying to do this, tokenizing these claims, is something that is truly in keeping with the crypto spirit, but also potentially pretty funny and misguided from some folks who have recently been on a publicity tour trying to reclaim their good name in the wake of FTX's even more spectacular implosion. So it is a bit of a funny group of messengers here, but hey, crypto winter has created like a gold rush in bankruptcy claims. And the fact that they want to tokenize these and make a crypto exchange out of it, I guess the idea makes sense, but yes, it is a funny development to see these guys emerging from the woodwork with some pretty significant backing, at least, to try it out. Anyway, Sam, what do you think?
Yeah. So on one hand, I agree. It's ridiculous. Let's put it out there. Maybe the people behind this, aren't the most credible. Well, they're credible in a certain sense. I guess is what I was going to say, which is that if anybody knows about, bankruptcy proceedings at this point, either being a part of it themselves or, being creditors that are participating in some of these, failed projects, I think they are experts in a certain sense. But again, I do think that there's kind of two interesting narratives that we could see develop from this. One thing is if they do manage to get this $25 million in funding, that tells us, which I think is partially true, that the folks who are doing this raising, the folks who are giving this money, just operate either along a different set of, I don't know if values probably isn't the word, but they just use a different, maybe it is. They just use a completely different calculus for their investments, for the way they do business than the rest of us just watching things. Or, and we saw that with WeWork and Adam Newman and all of that. Or we could also just see this, which is the way many of us, and I certainly see this now, is this space, I think, uniquely does attract a certain type of person. Because again, I don't know if we mentioned this today, but in past times I've been on the hash, it's not just the 3AC founders that are going on these publicity tours that are doing these things. I mean, SBF is still talking. We'll talk soon about a similar, although different situation that's been born out of the FTX fiasco. But there's Do Kwon, he's still building things. Justin Sun, different situation again, but you can read a lot about him. He's still building and raising. So it's a unique space. Well, back to you.
Yeah, one little point I want to bring up in this discussion is the name is GTX. According to the pitch deck, they named it GTX because it is, G is right after F, right? So FTX, GTX, they have a nice little spin on there. And that's definitely catching people's eyes. Also, another point here is that the CoinFLEX team is behind this. And CoinFLEX, a lot of people don't know about it, but it had a similar nightmare situation like Celsius and Voyager had, where they had too long of bets out there. They didn't have enough collateral on their balance sheet. And then now they are in the restructuring mode. So that also occurred over the summer, but that's not really stopping Sudhu and Kyle Davies from working with the CoinFLEX team. They're just operating the same way. So they're going to use a lot of the CoinFLEX technology stack. They're bringing over a lot of the CoinFLEX team in order to build this. And this comes after both 3AC and CoinFLEX are trying to figure out how to keep their actual businesses afloat, right? So 3AC is actually still going through the process with creditors, trying to work out how this is all going to happen. We saw them last week the DOJ came after them on Twitter, serving them on Twitter. And then with CoinFLEX, they're still going through the process of having their creditors and equity owners and different owners of the company sort of partition, figure out how CoinFLEX is going to keep operating. So interesting to see the distractions here. They're operating the exchange while still trying to figure out those past things. Wendy, I'll bounce it back up to you.
Does someone really need $25 million to execute a plan like this? Like, I'm just not understanding why you need $25 million. It seems like a very, very large amount. I feel like there's dudes on crypto Twitter that know how to code that could literally whip something like this together in probably like 30 minutes, do some copy pasta on some GitHub, maybe with a budget of like maybe $100,000. Other than that, insane to me.
HTX. That'll be HTX. So we'll hold off on that one for another day.